What's up guys, J.R. Raymond back again, coming to you from Classic Lanes here in Rochester Hills, Michigan, home of MRB Classic Pro Shop, where today I'm going to actually talk about spares again. I want you guys to really get this down. I want you to figure out how to shoot spares as best as possible. So I'm going to go back and show you that trick again on how to flatten out your release or just position your hand a little bit better to get your bowling ball to go a little bit straighter. Whether it's your spare ball or your strike ball, it doesn't matter. If you want it to go straight down the lane and give you the best chance to make the spares, I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick here in a minute. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick to get your bowling ball to go just a little bit straighter. Now, you don't have to do anything crazy. It's just going to be where you position your hand. Now, most people want to use a plastic ball, and they want to see their ball, they want to be able to rotate it exactly how they can, and then they want to see that plastic ball go straight. But unfortunately, even though it is plastic and it is meant to go straighter than a strike ball, they aren't always going to go straight. You're going to see some patterns where they get burned up, and you're going to miss some spares because that plastic ball is still going to hook a little bit for you. So we want it to actually go as straight as possible, and if we can make it go as straight as possible without ever having to rely on whether it's going to hook or adjusting for that little bit of a hook, that's the best way to go about it. So what I like to do is when I'm set up, instead of having my standard position, I will almost go to like a knuckleball. What I call a knuckleball is when I'm guiding my palm towards the pins. So I almost rotate my hand much like this with the ball in it, and I'm holding it this way, so that way my palm is facing towards the pins, and the center of this here, of my between my thumb and my index finger, is going towards my target. So when I'm releasing, it's like a suitcase. You're coming through it and you're just releasing it that way. So now you get very little rotation and the ball's just basically knuckling down the lane towards your spare. So if I show you shooting this 3-6-10, don't kill me if I miss it, because I haven't thrown a ball in about 10 minutes now. But if I show you shooting this 3-6-10, what I mean by that, going with my palm towards it, knuckling it, it does exactly that. It's just boom, and it just rolls and just barely hooks it all, doesn't do anything crazy, just goes straight down the lane, right at your target, directly at what you're looking for, and it gives you the best chance to make the spare. Now, if that ball's hooking, which you saw because it's reactive, it still kind of picked up the lane a little bit, so you make minor adjustments for that. But if that's plastic, that ain't hooking at all. No matter what you're bowling on, that's basically going to go dead straight all the time. So if you're a plastic user and you like to use that type of a spare ball, then using this release will make sure it goes straight all the time. Your spare percentage will go through the roof, and that's what we're looking for. We want to make sure we're making those spares, because when we're in a bowling tournament, I mean, how many of you, with show of hands, I know, raise your hands, if you have ever missed a cut by less than 10 or 20 pins and you know of 3 or 4 spares that you missed throughout the game, pretty easily, single pins, multi-pin spares, whatever it may be, if you miss a cut by just a few pins, what do you blame? You can't blame that stone 8 that you left in the last game, or that when you know you needed a double to get in and you didn't strike, you flat 10 or you wrap 10. You can't blame that. You got to blame the spare misses that you had earlier in the day. Now, I know you try, it's really hard to go all day without missing spares. It's really tough, but that's the goal. We always want to go without missing any makeable spares. That gives us the best chance to make the cut. Pretty obvious in that opinion right there. But if you've ever missed a cut and you know you've missed a few spares, that's probably the most frustrating thing ever. You think back to that 10 pin you flagged in the 8th frame of game 3 and you just missed the cut by 2 pins. You just make that spare and you're in. Like, that's it. So you got to remember to focus every single time you're shooting spares. Make sure you focus on what you're trying to do. And if this little trick helps you, use it. If it doesn't, that's okay. Do whatever you got to do to get better at spares. But this little trick right here, I promise, can help you if you implement it properly and do the right things with it. That's all I got for you today. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure to check out the podcast where we talk about all these things every day over at anchor.fm. You can check out what is it? LTC Bowling Show. Geez, I don't even remember my own podcast. I got so much stuff going on. But it's the LTC Bowling Show over at Anchor, and you can catch it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those different ones, all over the platforms as well. So check it out. But until next time, guys, I'm out of here. We'll see you guys later.